Welcome back to Holonet Weekly, your go-to source for all your competitive Star Wars Unlimited news. This is J. Rod and Balls, and today's episode we're going to take a look at the news and spoilers from this past week. We got the results from the first sector of Season 2, as well as all the other PQs. And you know what? We're going to ask the question, is CAD as big as an issue as we all anecdotally think? Answer is yes. And we're going to take a look and see what made our code breaker play of the week.
Awesome. Well, before we dive into that question of the week, for those of you guys that are watching, this one is going to be pretty easy. Do we see a Cad Bane before the indie sectors? Let us know in the comment below. And while you're doing that, like and subscribe. The biggest news from this past week is that FFG has decided not to renew the contract with Cascade Games, which, for people who don't know, is the third-party company that runs the judge program for Star Wars Unlimited. Officially, their contract ends in October. FFG still hasn't announced what will come next, but you'll see them hire some new company for the judge program. J-Rod, any comments on that?
Yeah. I think, at least, I'm not in the judge program. You're not in the judge program. Obviously, we've done plenty of events. Never an issue, I don't think, with any judge, just our personal interactions with them. But talking with some of the judges, that this is very much a good thing, right? Cascade, I think, was really dropping the ball. And I think FFG saw that and is what made them make the change.
Yeah, when I initially heard about it, my initial thought was that they would bring it in-house. And, as they grow, you got to have more control when you bring things like that in-house. Right. But due to some internal conversations with other people, it seems like they're just bringing on another company, which, fair enough. Like in my business in the past, we've had companies, we've outsourced things to companies and have to find new ones that can fulfill at expectations that we want, that we set. So it could be something like that, but we'll see what the future holds for the judges and any of the judges that were with Cascade, if that transitions over to the new company, TBD, but I'm assuming if they'll have their own process and we'll probably work with people.
It's my understanding that the certification should transfer. Maybe like a slight update, but it should transfer because it's too big to start from zero, right? And just have zero judges and try to get everyone
midstream. Like, hey, November 1st, the PQs in the first or second week of November, whenever those happen. Oh, we need to find judges from a whole new company. So that'll be kind of crazy to try and do that. But yeah, we'll see. Not too familiar with the inner workings of how these contracts are done or any of that, so I'm not going to speculate. But the only speculation I would make is they just want to do something maybe that they have a bit more control over, or maybe, from what I gather, find a company with a bigger size team, possibly. But who knows?
Here's the thing: they outsourced the Galactic Championship, and it ran smoother this year. It was a lot better this year than last year.
Well, last year there was outsourced as well. A lot of it was. I think they just used a different company for it this year.
I mean, here's the thing too. It's also, I think, a good note to see that them just not just sitting on their hands, right? They're actually making changes as opposed to we're just going to let things go and see how the game handle. Like they're taking proactive steps to try to make the game better, at least in their eyes, right?
Yeah, like putting out Cad Bane as a great leader. Had a sector qualifier in Germany this past weekend, as well as the Open and the rest of the PQs. So let's take a look at the weekend winners. All right. First and foremost, we have to give a big congratulations to Christian for taking down the sector main event in Berlin. He played Mando Colossus. The top 8 had 5 Cad Blues, and Christian, I believe, played Cad Blues against Cad every single round of the finals. He had a pretty back and forth 3-game set final, taking down Cad Blue in the process to win our first sector in season 2. So congrats again to Christian for winning that event.
That's pretty. I mean, if you can win those 300, 400, 500 person events, It's super impressive.
Mm-hmm.
Then we are going to look at our limited PQ winners this past weekend. We had 7, and that was CMP EMIF over in Germany, Nikodo in France, Robert GT in Canada. We had Flying Tortoise in California, Adam Schrofer in Illinois, DG Cells in Atlanta, and Covith 755 in Washington. Being able to top 8 with a sealed deck and then draft a winning deck is always super impressive. So congratulations to our limited winners.
We had a few eternal events this weekend as well. We had 2 PQs and the open that at the sector that was internal. So we have SB Andrzejvadak, Han won yellow in the Germany Open. Eric lost, happened to win with Yoda Data Vault in Germany. And KH44 MCG with Gar Saxon ECL in Jersey. So we finally see some decks take down the Twin Sons Anakin decks, which is nice to see. And a special shout out to KH44 MCG for already winning his second PQ this season.
Yep. So jumping over to our premier winners this week, we had 13 of those, and to no surprise to anyone, we have a whole list of Cad Bane winners. So we have Travi over in Utah. We had ECL Mickey D over in California. TTB Kybers over in Florida. Benny Ba in Thailand. And then my favorite of all the Cad Bane winners, we had Ban Cad Bane over in Uruguay.
That's funny. Go sit down. Oh, are you Ban Cad Bane? Oh yeah, what are you playing? Cad Bane. Yep. Next, we had a couple of other leaders win multiple PQs. We had BDST CJ with Boba 4 Blue in Australia, B Davis with Boba 4 Lake Country in the UK, Awesome MTGDG with Krennic Blue in Vermont, and Prime Adrian with Krennic Blue in the Philippines.
Yeah, it's pretty impressive. The boys over in Australia, down under, they had 4 that BDST, 4 people in that team top 8 that event. So that's
awesome.
Pretty impressive.
Congrats to that team.
Yep, and to round off the rest of our winners from the premier side, we had Davidson on Maul Blue Force over in the Czech Republic. We had Elosic on Luke 4 Datavolt in Canada. We have Maximum X on the Lando Blue down in Mexico, and Brennan, right? McLear on Piet Splash Red over in Ohio.
Awesome. And actually, I was down in Mexico for that PQ where Maximum X won against a Cad Blue in the finals. So he had a great run. It was a great event. And if you guys are interested, there was a Facebook stream of it on a cell phone. I think it's Simio Games, SIMIO Games. If you want to check out that gameplay, it should be on their Facebook stream.
And congratulations to all of our weekend winners. We asked at the top of the show, is Cad Bane getting banned? And I think we all know the answer to that. So let's jump in to our metagame snapshot.
All right, we're now in the 3rd week of the Ashes PQ season, and Cad has been running the tables. What are you thinking what are we thinking when it comes to the state of the meta? Right, Cad Bane still 30% of the top 8, 5 in the top 8 for the sector, unfun to play against. What are your thoughts on that, J-Rod?
It is unfun to play against, right? It's when the deck just has almost no bad plays, right? There's so much value. You get the free ping, right? Everything synergizes with your ping, and then you just get to play all the good stuff, the pre-Vizslas, the chimeras, right? So it's unfun. It's unfun to play against.
Well, you've beaten your fair share of Cad Banes, though.
I have. I mean, I have, right? And when you look at it, and Cad Bane's really warping the entire meta, because you have Cad Bane being top. So then what are you trying to do to combat Cad Bane? people are trying to play fast decks, right? And so the next two highest leaders are the Luke 4 Data Vault deck and then the Vader, right? And so those are the top three decks.
And then
And
Cad
then
answers for the
also
face.
you look at, especially looking over at Germany, and what happened there is that you have this shift to playing these hard control decks that will go long and just outvalue them in the long game, right? And that's your Colossus decks, your Daedra, Mando, or even Lando decks.
All of which play Chimera and Previsla. Are they
Yep.
too strong, right? Since they're being splashed into these hero decks?
I mean, so I've seen a lot of discussions on it. I think most people are okay with Previsla, but I think Chimera is a bit too strong.
Yeah, I mean, look, it's like a catch-22. What do you guys want, right? Everyone complained that the legendaries sucked all these years, and
They are.
like they're like uncommons are better than the legendaries. Now they finally make legendaries that are good, and now everyone's complaining they're too good.
Yep.
Pick a side here.
And it's my approach would be just make them all good, right? And I think you saw that in set one, right? Vader was good, Luke was good, all cunning, command not so much, but vigilance, right? Those legendaries were good. Going into set two, you had Snoke.
Was Avenger set two?
Avenger was set one. Super Laser Blast also set one. Right. So like legendaries were powerful. Right. And then we're starting to see that now. And I think we need it. Right. Because we can't have boxes on release, drop into $60-$70. I understand as consumers, we want that. But if we want the game to do well, we can't have boxes to instantly crater in price. Right. That doesn't help LGSs, and it's not good for the long term of the game.
There's no chase cards, right? So nobody's buying boxes. I mean, I chased that ninth sister, third ninth sister for a long time. I bought a lot of boxes.
Again, and that's another good one. I mean, and the issue right now is that the best leader is able to play all the best cards.
Yeah, well, even the second and third place leaders are playing those cards. So
yeah,
I don't know. I think going with Previs and Chimera, I don't know. I think Chimera is obviously I think the stronger of the two, because you can basically remove anything without a limitation, as long as you like. There's times where you would sack your own Chimera that you just played just to get rid of like a big threat, right?
Right.
But
to me, I don't think that's that bad, right? To pay 7, like if you don't have any board, you play 7, you have to sack your own Chimera, so you're essentially playing a vigilance, vanquish for 7, and you heal 2.
I think the heal 2 is what I think is the big thing, because look, there's that. There's the governor shuttle. Is the governor shuttle that you could defeat your own unit and defeat an enemy unit? It does the same thing, and it's cheaper than Chimera. So Chimera is just, you're paying more for that same effect, but you're healing, and that healing stays if you have it on the board, and then you play Previs the next turn and you remove 2 or 3 of their units, and a lot of heal.
Oh, I know. I've got Chimera into SRI and a heal for 6, right? And while I take 3, I get it. But I think the game is better when we have better legendaries.
Oh, for sure. Yeah, you definitely want, like, you don't want to buy a box and have legendaries that you don't want to play. Like, you want to be able to put them in the deck for sure.
To answer our question, I think we should see it, right? I mean, they kind of need to say something at least by Wednesday.
When they did the last bit, I don't recall like the order of things. Well, there was a big event coming up for Django, and then they announced it before that big event. That'll be the last weekend. Because if they're gonna announce it, like, we're filming this, it's Monday, so it made this be up Tuesday. So tomorrow is FFG stream day. I don't know if they have anything scheduled. I haven't checked. But if they're gonna announce it they'll probably announce it. If they announce it on Wednesday, tomorrow, then it would probably have to go in effect after Indianapolis.
Nah, just rip it. Just do it. Have everyone scramble for to play another deck.
Yeah, they're not going to do that. They're not going to do that.
We'll see.
We will see. All right. Well, that's it for this week's Meta Snapshot. With the sector this past weekend, we had some of the best players around Europe competing. So let's see what made our code breaker play of the week.
I don't know if we can infer.
If
the Dedra claimed, like, it would be a pretty. That's another thing, though. I don't think the Dedra claimed, but probably the Dedra wants to do something about that Cad Bane, and the fact that with this army, Cad Bane has so many actions to be able to do nothing with, that Dedra is kind of forced to pass if they want to do something about something that hasn't happened yet. So yeah, we really see Cad Bane going
like
at
the
it.
Cad is considering pinging the Rancor Keeper just to use the ability.
Pinging the Rancor
just
Keeper
to push more damage.
Yeah. And we have a no glory here as well, just because why not? This is not. Oh, so this was the big moment that was waited for. Wow,
yes.
This is a
so that means Thomas was
so
passing, just instantly passing, and so Jasper had to know that something was up.
Yeah, so falling right into the trap. But we haven't seen this card. It is a super hard control card, which also damages your base. So you better have a lot of HP in your base if this is what you're planning to play. But this was why the Dedra was being kept there. Deal 5 damage to your base, then 5 damage to everything. And Dedra could survive that because she was safely in the deploy zone.
All right, this play comes from the Fanfinity YouTube channel. They stream the entire sector, so if you guys want to go back and watch that, we'll have a link down in the description. So we can see here, we have Thomas here on Daedra Colossus, right? They're on R6. Thomas only has 10 damage on his base and going into the turn. So he takes 13 damage and just passing. Mind you, right, that the Cad at any point can take initiative and they go to the next turn, right? And then, but the Cad player ends up tapping out, and then you see Daedra play Operation Cinder, right? Does 5 damage to everything, including his own base, right? So not only did he take the 13, he took the 5 from Operation Cinder. That's 18 damage in one turn. Clears the entire base. And what's pretty impressive, right, and shows the quality of player that Thomas is, he hadn't deployed Daedra yet, a 4 resource leader, kept it until 6, was able to flip and defeat the Cad Bane, and gain the control board, gaining control of the board. And then later, if you keep watching, Thomas ends up winning that game a couple of turns later, and then he actually just wins the entire set 2-0.
Yeah, I think actually in that matchup, if I'm not mistaken, if the Cad player sacked their own Chimera at one point too. I'm pretty sure it was that matchup. If I could be mistaken, I'm pretty sure it was that one. But yeah, that was pretty interesting. Like, he could have been screwed anytime Cad just claimed. Who knows? I mean, he could have still used it the next turn, but he wouldn't have used any resources that turn. So yeah, it was pretty well thought out. He knew how much damage he was going to take, and I guess the word is he risked it for the biscuit.
He got it. So congratulations to Thomas, and that's our Codebreaker play of the week.
All right, that's it for this week. So as we look ahead to the following weeks of the Ashes PQ season, we have a whopping 30 plus events coming up for this weekend. The biggest being the sector qualifier in Indianapolis, which is going to be Premier. So here's a quick snapshot of everything. And as always, there'll be a link in the description. And that's it for us this week. And we will see you back here next week with the results from the weekend. This has been your update here at Holonet Weekly. Have a great rest of your day.